Hey guys, here's the science assignment for this week. Pages 63 and 64, you need to read, take notes, and define the vocabulary words. Also, you need to answer the questions for the worksheet number 2. There's 7 questions. They're all in the article that I'm going to read aloud right now, okay? Make sure at the end of the week you turn in both pages because you get two grades. One for the first worksheet where you have the vocabulary words defined, and then the second worksheet with the questions. All right, so let's read this. Let's go through the vocabulary words first. Number 1, heredity. 2, genetics. 3, cross-pollination. 4, self-pollination. And 5, true breeding. Okay, let's read through the questions that you have to answer. Number 1, what is heredity? 2, what is genetics? 3, why did Mendel choose to study pea plants? Explain. 4, how do pea plants reproduce? Explain. 5, how does cross-pollination occur? Explain. How does self-pollination occur? Explain. And number 7, true breeding always results in what type of offspring? Explain. All right, so let's read the article, Mendel and his peas. What is heredity? Why don't you look like a rhinoceros? The answer to that question seems simple. Neither of your parents is a rhinoceros. Only a human can pass on its traits to make another human. Your parents pass some of their traits on to you. The passing of traits from parents to offspring is called heredity. About 150 years ago, a monk named Gregor Mendel performed experiments on heredity. His discoveries helped establish the field of genetics. Genetics is the study of how traits are passed on or inherited. Who was Gregor Mendel? Gregor Mendel was born in Austria in 1822. He grew up on a farm where he learned a lot about flowers and fruit trees. When he was 21 years old, Mendel entered a monastery. A monastery is a place where monks study and practice religion. The monks at Mendel's monastery also taught science and performed scientific experiments. Mendel studied pea plants in the monastery garden to learn how traits are passed from parent to offspring. He used garden peas because they grow quickly. They also have many traits, such as height and seed color, that are easy to see. His results changed the way people think about how traits are passed on. Reproduction in peas. Like many flowering plants, pea plants have both male and female reproductive parts. Many flowering plants can reproduce by cross-pollination. In most plants, sperm are carried in structures called pollen. In cross-pollination, sperm and the pollen of one plant fertilize eggs in the flower of another plant. Pollen can be carried by organisms, such as insects. It may also be carried by the wind from one flower to another. Some flowering plants may use cross-pollination. They need another plant to reproduce. However, some plants, including pea plants, can also reproduce by self-pollination. In self-pollination, sperm from one plant fertilize the eggs of the same plant. Mendel used self-pollination in pea plants to grow true breeding plants for his experiments. When a true breeding plant self-pollinates its offspring, all of the same traits as the parent. For example, a true breeding plant with purple flowers always has offspring with purple flowers. You can see the diagram. On the left, cross-pollination by animals, cross-pollination by wind, and self-pollination. Okay, so when you're defining the words, look for the words in italics. Right here it talks about true breeding, self-pollination, cross-pollination is in this paragraph. Scroll up. Heredity and genetics are in the first paragraph. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I hope you guys have a really good week. Bye.